Good evening, YouTube. How are you today? It's a beautiful day here in Little Rock at the Maverick campus. Today, this is the end of orientation, day 5. Pretty good day. A lot of things happened today. Some changes to the way things are. Got up at 6:30 as normal and had breakfast. Breakfast today was ham and egg or sausage and egg croissants with fruit, juice, coffee, and all that good stuff. Once we got through breakfast, we actually started class at 7 o'clock. They put both classes together today, the new students and the experienced drivers. And they went over hazardous materials awareness. It really wasn't a hazardous materials class per se, but there was a 30-question test, which kind of really mimicked the hazardous materials test that you take at your DOT. Now, Maverick doesn't haul hazardous material, at least placarded. They do carry some, like when we carry pipe. We may carry glue to go with the pipe, and that's considered a hazardous material, but it's not in placarded quantities. And of course, they consider all the fluids in a truck hazardous as well. Oil, diesel, antifreeze, things like that. That ran for a little while. Once that was done, we took a test for it. We were required to pass it. And this was one of the few tests that it was hands-on on paper as opposed to in a computer system. I asked why that was, but I really didn't get a satisfactory answer. I think it may be because they have 2 different tests, and the one you get when they give you your test papers is randomized. Maybe they don't have that in their computer system yet. After that, we all got together as a one big happy family and went across to the corporate offices where we had a very short tour. We really didn't actually see all that much of the offices themselves, but we were told we can go over there anytime we want and wander around, talk to people, because Maverick is a family. But one of the things we did do once we got there, we got to find out where the drivers, regular permanent drivers lounge is, with showers, laundry facilities, and a break room, as well as the company store. I don't remember if I talked about the company store before, but the company store is not a really big place, but they got a lot of stuff. A lot of clothing, coats, about 15 or 20 different kinds of shirts, everything from polo shirts like this to regular button-up short sleeves, long sleeves, t-shirts. And they got stuff for kids, for the wives. It's definitely a marketing office. They also have a couple different styles of hats and lots of other things, including lanyards and things like that. Everything says Maverick. And they also sell some some things that makes life easier in trucks for that kind of thing. We were told though that this company store will be closing sometime this summer. I don't remember when, it's either June or July, but all that stuff is going to go online. And when it does go online, we're going to have more options for things. So they must be outsourcing it to a vendor that will be able to, you'll be able to custom order your shirt. So if you want a bunch of specific types of shirts with certain logoing on them, as opposed to just whatever they have in the store, you'll be able to get it that way as well. And that'll be better, of course. All that will either be paid by credit card or payroll deduction, because they will payroll deduct it off your check if you want to. Once we were done with that, we headed upstairs to the recruiting offices, and we got to meet our actual recruiters face to face. Those that brought us in, or at least for people like me, I called in and asked for information, and one guy called me back, and after he answered all my questions, I filled out an application, and he called me back, and we went back and forth for about 10 days until everything was sorted out. And he offered to, that's who offered to bring me on. And his name was Ryan, and he's a really nice guy, even up front. A little younger than I thought he would be, but he seemed even friendlier in person than he was face to face. We also got to meet what they call the processors, who work in the background. They don't actually talk to drivers unless they absolutely have to, or prospective candidates. What they do is they process all of your references, employment screenings, all that kind of stuff. Make sure your application is up to Maverick standard. Once we finished that, we went back to the training center. And here's where things didn't go the way they had originally planned. Um, but since orientation was over, we went ahead. Those people that were going to different divisions were split up. The temperature control division people went to another classroom to start their temperature control training. I'm not really sure how long that is. I didn't ask. I mean, I've pulled refrigerated trailers for years, and most of the time, it only takes maybe an hour or two to teach everything you would need to know. But maybe Maverick has a bigger system. I know there's some other things they cover other than just temperature control, but I don't know how long that class would be. But they sent all the glass and the flatbed people to flatbed training, and here they train the glass people to do flatbed as well, so they'll be able to do both. But they don't train flatbed people to do glass. So we went upstairs to the flatbed training room and met all the new flatbed instructors. And we started off basically with about an hour long or so introduction to the flatbed training regimen, and then we got a short tour of the training center where the shop is, where all the trailers and everything is that they do for the hands-on stuff. Once that was done, they broke everybody up, and we took a break, and then we were herded all downstairs to a completely different place, back to the original classroom that the students were in, and everybody sit down, and we actually got our job offers for those people that everything had come back, drug screens and everything, which was just about everybody. I think only one person didn't get their job offer because there was something wrong with their drug tests, and it hadn't come back from the testing facility yet. But we got our job offers, and that consisted of a two-step process. The first thing they gave us was an envelope with our DOT medical cards, our long form and our short forms, our wallet card, as they're called. We got those, and then we also got a card that allows us to go off duty to eat meals and take care of personal business while we're under load, because it's an obscure law, but technically, as long as you're under load under the FMCSA regulations, you cannot ever go off duty other than to sleep, or your mandated DOT break. But this card is basically from Maverick saying that this driver is allowed to take his meal breaks and other personal breaks while under a load, and we have to carry that card. To be honest, I'd never known that. In all the years I've driven, I've never had that problem, and they even freely admit that 99% of DOT officers would never walk into a truck stop and say, "Let me see your logbook, make sure you're on duty," unless they're just having a really bad day and they want to jack somebody for something like that. So after that, we signed on to the computer system and logged into the actual Driver Connect portal, which is just for drivers, and accepted our personal job offers. And when we clicked on the job offer tab, it actually lists out. It's basically a contract statement signed by you and Maverick, detailing what division you're going to be in, how much money you're going to make, and a couple other small things. And basically, it's an electronic signature. You click on it, and you're done. And then once that, they all welcomed us to Maverick, and we were let out of the classroom. And there was a bunch of instructors and corporate people and drivers that just happened to be in the yard, or people that are already employees, doing the fist bump and welcoming us. It was really a nice thing. I mean, it really made me and everybody else feel really welcome. After that was done, we took another break, and then lunch was delivered. Today lunch was beef and chicken tacos. Beef and chicken fajitas. I don't know why I said tacos. Fajitas, and they were damn good. Now that's the only way I could put it. They were slow roasted with bell peppers and onions and everything in a big stew sauce, and there was also chips and queso, and cold veg to add to it, and a lot of Spanish rice. And that was just, it was, I would say so far, it was the best meal we've had as far as lunches go. The sandwiches yesterday were awesome. The fajitas were the bomb. They could have been a little spicier. They could have given us, sliced jalapenos to put on them. Once that was done, actually the lunch was really a lunch and learn. But by the time the learn started, everybody was already done with lunch. and it was the Maverick Wellness Program, and basically that is talks about not just physical well-being, but healthy eating on the road, healthy living, exercise, and also including financial and mental and emotional well-being. And Maverick has an employee action center that is HIPAA qualified, that allows you to call them at any time, and they can give you all kinds of help, from if you want counseling for stress-related issues or emotional problems, or you need legal help, or even financial assistance. And of course, they talked a little bit more about ATBS, which anybody here, lease operator or company driver, can join it, use the ATBS to do their bookkeeping and tax accounting. I already use ATBS and have for the last 8 years. So it was nothing really new to me. However, I'm not letting Maverick take that payment out of my check on a weekly or monthly basis. I'm paying ATBS directly for my services. Once that was done, we had another little break, and we went back to the Flatbed training room, and we went through our first securement course. And it was eye to the side single coils, which is a steel coil with the donut opening facing the sides of the trailers. We learned how to set that up, and once that's set up, doing the securement rack, as well as the cradle, and then put the coil on it, and we chain it down. And we did some practice runs with the securement cradle, and then we had coils put on, and we had to work out how to set them up for the different weights and sizes that they told us was there. It was all simulated, but we set it up to where like it was real. So we did that twice. We did secure two coils, and then we were taken back upstairs after we cleaned everything up in the training bay, and watched a video on equipment storage. Maverick has a specific way they would like you to store your equipment on a trailer and on your truck. So in case, like if you drop your trailer and put it somewhere, and you have to get another one, when someone comes to get that trailer, everything is always in the exact same place, where the tarps are put, where the wood blocking is put, and things like that. And that was it. After that, they cut us loose. So it was an exhausting day. I'm really, really tired, as far as just physically worn out. I mean, I knew this was going to be a tough job, but I'm not used to it yet. So hauling around those 25-foot chains and moving all those blocks and everything is just exhausting me today. Of course, today was the first day that I've worn my steel-toed boots that I bought. I've had them for a long time, but I've never actually worn them, except for maybe a couple times, because I was never required to. We're required to wear the steel-toed boots and all PPE while in the training room, the training bays. So I'm physically exhausted. My feet hurt. So I'm going to have dinner here soon, and I'm going to call it an early night. So I hope you found these first 5 videos very, very informative. Starting tomorrow, orientation's over full-time, and it'll be all about securement, and I'll talk about what we've worked on each day as we go on for the next 7 days. So, and tomorrow morning, we're moving out of the Maverick Hotel and moving over to the Galloway. So it's going to be a busy day for that too. So click that subscribe button, follow me, and keep checking on what's going on. And I'd like to thank the new subscribers that I've recently gotten. It means a lot to me. So keep the shiny side up, 73s, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Beautiful day.